So good morning. We are on the move today. We are leaving Idaho and we are en route to yet another state and yet another adventure. We are heading to Montana, Garryowen, Montana, about 50 miles outside of Billings. And I have an update on the brakes. I'll get right back to you guys. All right, so little update time. Like I mentioned, we are now about an hour into this drive. We have a 5-hour drive today, by the way. A little bit outside my comfort zone. I really don't like traveling. As you guys very well know, I don't like traveling more than 3.5 hours, 4 hours tops. But unfortunately, to get from point A to point B, today is a 5-hour drive. But it is a pretty drive. We're in Montana currently. It is a very pretty drive, a lot of greenery, open space, very Americana. As a matter of fact, we just went through a small town of Ennis, E-N-N-I-S, where luckily, without us even knowing it, luckily the main street of town is going to be closed between 10 and noon for 4th of July celebration, 4th of July parade. We just happened to make it through at 9:30. But what a beautiful little town. I mean, what America's supposed to be like, by the way. Very, the population of the town, I think, was 800, what was it?
Like 860.
Yeah, 8 something. But there was thousands of people there that obviously came from, I guess, nearby towns to enjoy the festivities. But very cool. That's the update on that. Now, the update on the brakes. As you guys very well know, I mentioned in the last video that I went through an entire brake repair. I did it while we were here in Island Park, Idaho. I am glad to announce that so far, the brakes are back up. They're working fantastically. So that's the update on that. If anything comes up on that, I'll fill you guys in. But other than that, we're off to Montana. Or we're in Montana, but we're off to our next stop and our next journey. All right, so after what seemed to be all day, we finally made it out here to Garryowen, Montana. We basically drove the entire state of Montana. We were down by the Idaho, Montana area, the west entrance to Yellowstone. We basically went up 87 to 90 and came across through Billings and here to Garryowen, Montana. We're at a place called 7th Ranch RV Park. We actually got a very nice spot. The gentleman that brought us out here parked us. He said, you guys are the rich people this week. You're at the top of the hill. And he wasn't kidding. I'm gonna flip the camera around here and show you guys the view from the backside of our coach. You got God. And you got country. I mean, what else can one ask for? There she goes. Garryowen, Montana. And I'm going to show you guys the view from the front. Now, we do have a small tree, and you'll see it here, that kind of gives us a little shade, basically at the dining room table and the front door. Everything else is out in the open. But then again, just about every site that I see is out in the open. But I couldn't ask for a more serene view from our site. I believe that, well, first of all, it's full hookup, and I believe we have free Wi-Fi. I don't know. It's been like 3 weeks since we've had Wi-Fi. Very difficult. The last place didn't even have data for our phones. But nice place. Nice place. Looking forward to 3 nights here. Looks like it's going to be some pretty nights too, because we're out in the middle of nowhere. And looking forward to it. And we're also looking forward to sharing, I think, 2 or 3 things that we're going to be doing here in Garryowen. So that's it. That's the status update. We made it. So good morning. Today is another day here in Garryowen, Montana. It's actually the 3rd day that we're here. Yesterday is what I know you've heard the term before, a down day, which really, the more I think about it, the last thing we do is down. Yesterday, all I did was work on the truck, and I cleaned the RV, which is funny because this park that we're at, 7th Ranch RV Park, is one of those parks that allows you to wash your RV. Far and few between. This is the first time in season 2 that we've actually run into an RV park that allows you to wash the RV on site. So I took advantage of that and did the front cap of the truck and the front cap of the RV. So it's really not a down day. It's actually a work day for me. But today is the last day, and we're going to take advantage of what there is to do here. I know that I mentioned that there was 2 or 3 things. Actually, when I did my research, I didn't realize that the 2 or 3 things that I wanted to see while in Garryowen, Montana, happened to be in the same place. The place is called Little Bighorn Battlefield National Monument, which happens to be 5 or 10 minutes up the road here. So we're going to go do that. It's actually one of those monuments that allows the America the Beautiful pass. We're going to take advantage of that again. So basically, in essence, this is one of those stops that we do between our focal stops. So the next one that we're going to do is Sturgis, which I just want to stop there for a night or 2 nights, just because I want to say I've been to Sturgis. And then we're going to do Rapid City. Now, in Rapid City is one of those places that we really looking forward to going. We have Mount Rushmore there. We have Crazy Horse, Custer State Park. There's a few little things that we want to do there. But this is one of those spots that we stop in between those major places that we really want to visit. But we could easily stop overnight just anywhere. We don't really like doing that. We like stopping if we're going to be 2 or 3 nights and enjoy what the area has to offer, which is exactly what we're going to do today. So we are going to head out to Little Bighorn Battlefield, and we're going to share whatever it is that they have to offer with you guys. All right, so we made it out to Little Bighorn Battlefield National Monument. Just a recap, America the Beautiful pass is accepted. First thing you run into when you come in is Custer's National or Memorial Cemetery until 1978, and I'll put a clip here. Until 1978, they took reservations for burials of servicemen that died in multiple wars. I'll show you here in the picture. They would take reservations until it filled to capacity. But very interesting. Looks a lot like Arlington National Cemetery. I'll share a clip here with you guys. Very impressive. And by the way, a little history lesson in case you guys did not know. The Little Bighorn battle that occurred here, and I'll show you some clips of that as the day progresses. It was actually won. This is where Custer had his last stand. It was actually won by the Indians. Just a little bit of history in case you didn't know that. Well, let me show you the cemetery. It's almost like a mini Arlington. Let me add a little bit of information to correct something. As I walk around the cemetery, I see that there are some headstones that reflect wives, children, brothers of servicemen, and there are some servicewomen, so let me correct that, are buried here as well. lot of wives. So I guess if you request, you could be buried with your loved one. You know, it's ironic as I walk around and look at all these graves from all types of, all walks of life. Marines, Army, Air Force, Cavalry. There was a tomb I just saw from Coast Guard. It's ironic that we are here on the 7th of July, a few days after celebrating Independence Day, which, and I'm going to get a little deep here, so you'll have to forgive me. A lot of people look at days such as 4th of July or Memorial Day, and they look at them as just a holiday, a day to get away from work, when they really don't put into perspective what those days actually mean, what they represent. As I look around here and I look at all these headstones, I can't help but wonder the small fraction, percentage of men and women. This is just a small fraction of the men and women who have lost their lives fighting for the independence, fighting for the freedom of this country that we so enjoy. And not only that, have lost their lives fighting for the independence and the freedom of so many other countries. And I can't help but think, mind you, this is just my personal opinion, but I'm going to share it with you. And I just can't help but think of all these soldiers looking down upon us and looking down on this great nation and think, what is going on? What is going on in this country with the divisiveness and the issues that face us? I just don't know what they're thinking. I just don't know what their thoughts. Look around. This is just a very, very small piece. Okay, small cemetery compared to the millions that have died so that we can enjoy these beautiful days and enjoy living in this beautiful country. All right, so we are back in the truck after going through the visitor center, and there's like a 5-mile road that goes throughout the monument, the park, and it is quite interesting how just randomly, and I'm gonna pull out on some of these places here and park and take some video to show you guys. Just randomly spread out all over the park, there's headstones, white headstones just sticking up where bodies were found, and they were just laid to rest right there. They're scattered all over the place. I'll show you guys some of them. So this is what I'm talking about. All those little white things sticking up, those are all headstones, graves. They are all over this area, this 5-mile loop. See them way over there, and now across here. all over. And also something interesting, this marker that I'm showing you here, there are markers all over the property that you just click on with your smartphone, and it gives you a brief synopsis of what is encountered at that very area. Here, look at one of the headstones up close. Here are a few more. Like I mentioned, they are just scattered all over. There's no there's nothing, nothing specific about the area, and the headstones face in different directions. They're just all over the place, all over this 5-mile loop. Now, under normal circumstances, seeing a bunch of horses running wild like this is really not, it's not a big deal. By the way, this is in that 5-mile loop. There are horses everywhere, just roaming around. I'll show you up here. They're on top of the mountains over there. They're everywhere. And under normal circumstances, that wouldn't be anything to brag about or anything unusual. I wouldn't say brag, but unusual. But in this particular case, as I was reading in the visitor center, during Custer's last stance, see, here's some more on the top of the mountain, on the top of this little hill. During Custer's last stance, they killed their horses so they could lay behind them and use the horses as cover. And the irony is that look at all these horses running wild. So what's up, guys? So we are back at the campground. We are done with the Little Bighorn Battlefield Monument. Hope you guys enjoyed the little bit of footage that we brought to you guys. Like I said, there's really not a lot to do here in Garryowen, Montana, but we did what there is to do here, which is the battlefield. A lot of history there, a lot of things that I don't know about you guys, but I've been out of junior high and high school for many years. A lot of things in the history books that I don't remember, and visiting this place today kind of rehashed those things. But we are done. We are back at the camper, and funny thing is that right now here at the camper, we are experiencing probably the worst thing that can really happen to RVers, which is we both, Myrna and I, got alerts. We have these apps on our phone that give us alerts about weather systems and stuff like that. We're in a severe thunderstorm warning right now. If you look outside, the trees are going crazy. The wind is blowing. It's raining. We are expecting, according to the news, we are expecting 60 mile per hour gusts, which is quite concerning when you're sitting in the middle of an open area in a box, basically. We are elevated or we're off the ground. But the one saving grace thus far, because it hasn't changed direction, is that the wind is hitting us directly head on from the cone of the RV, the nose of the RV. So that's a good thing. That's a plus. I mean, if the winds shift or if they change direction or if we get other notifications, you know, I don't mean to sound doom and gloom. It's the reality. If certain things change, we may have to get out of the RV, go get in the truck, and go seek shelter behind a building or something. I don't know. But for now, I think we're okay. Like I said, 60 mile an hour gusts. If it hits us from the front, I think we'll be okay. But that's the update. We are done. Only one thing left to do, which is our last day here in Montana. Even though we did spend a little bit of time in Montana when we were down doing Yellowstone, this is actually the actual stay in Montana. So it is meritorious of a sticker for our map. That's normally where this is the time normally that I would do that. I may just have to incorporate that into the next video or maybe tomorrow morning. I'm not sure how we're going to do it because there's no way I'm going outside right now. But this is going to be a wrap on Montana. Tomorrow, like I mentioned earlier, tomorrow we head out on a new adventure. We're going to jump in the truck and we're going to head further east to Sturgis, South Dakota.